Speech 7. Reticular canal system for surface water management. In this time we will be discussing on the topic humans and their struggle for water for survival in this environment. Respected leaders of this world, senior citizens and dear friends, this is my 7th uploaded speech where I will be focusing on two things. The first one is the mistakes we are doing by forgetting humans in this environment when we focus on the issues related to the environment. And the second one is human struggle to get the water for survival on this earth. Let us look into the first issue. Are we forgetting humans in this environment? Most of the time, when we start talking about the environment, we talk about the trees, plants, animals, air and its pollution, water and its pollution, river and its pollution, topsoil and land pollution, and so on. But we commonly forget the most important thing to include in this list, that is ourselves. That is, we forget to include humans as the most important content of this environment. Fortunately or unfortunately, humans are the major group responsible for either destroying or preserving this environment. What we need to understand is what is going to happen to the thoughts related to the preservation of this planet Earth, especially this biosphere, in relation to this huge mass of humans, as their lifestyle is entirely different from other group of animals. The visible simple truth is, even after looking at a rapidly increasing population in this world, we cannot stop breathing, we cannot stop drinking water, we cannot stop eating food to save air, water, food for others. All of us can't live inside the forest regularly without a safe roof. Trees will not produce extra oxygen. Please note, one big tree produces 260 pounds of oxygen per annum. And knowing this, we cannot inhale lesser volume of air for our breathing. Please note, an adult needs 3066 pounds of oxygen per annum. We may survive for few days sharing water and food, but not lifelong. We need specific quantity of water and food for our survival. We will not get water wherever we dig well. Still, we have occupied all the nooks and corners of this earth, depending on the availability and affordability. It is not possible to grow extra large quantities of food from the unit area of land as the population is getting increased. That means we all want clean air, water, food, shelter for our survival inside this environment, and we struggle to get the same, forgetting the increase in population and its influence on the natural resources. So, preserving planet Earth becomes focusing both on the survival of the humans in an eco friendly way with preserving the ecology of the planet Earth. My talks are focused on the solutions in preserving planet Earth by providing needed water to all the humans, animals, plants, trees to prevent deforestation, desertification, global warming, climate changes. But the most important thing is this planet Earth with limited land on it will not be able to support unlimited population. Let us understand this limitation and limit the population by adopting population control measures like having only one child for one couple, later making both the families of the newly married boy and girl to live together in a single house with both of their parents. Later, this new couple having only one child makes population to decrease, construction of buildings to come to an halt, the demand on this environment to become less with the present style of living. Otherwise, we will go on injuring the environment by putting more demand on or pressure on air, water, food, wood, housing, and so on, and in turn getting injured ourselves through drought, flood, air pollution, water pollution, land pollution, food pollution, noise pollution, light pollution, traffic congestion, deforestation, desertification, global warming, climate changes, natural calamities, and end of the life in this biosphere. Now we will go to the second issue, like history of struggle for existence to get the water as the basic need. Existence of life basically depends on air, water, and energy sources. That is food. We need water and food for our survival, and the food is generated from the plants. Plants need water for their growth. When we look at the past history, most of the human population were residing at the banks of the rivers, example Sindhu River civilization. This indicates that human civilization developed at the areas depending on the water sources, especially the rivers. Maybe because of population overgrowth leading to expansion of human civilization all across the land, or because of the bad experiences with the natural calamities like floods, people started living away from the rivers also in the plain lands. We know earth has got plenty of water over it, but it is very much unequally distributed. If all of us make up our mind, it is definitely possible to get sufficient water to the entire land and for the nation, to grow the crops, drink good water, and to get good air. God is kind enough to give plenty of water on this earth. We have to put our efforts to get the water to the places where we live, as we have already occupied all the nooks and corners of this earth. Good and potable water is very much essential for maintaining good health. Continuous and adequate water supply over all 365 days is essential for agriculture and industry. So there is a need to improve irrigation. When irrigation improves, agriculture improves, and it is possible to create more agriculture related industries. As the production in the field of agriculture and industry improves, the economy improves and the poverty decreases, provided there is transparency, morality, and faithfulness persists among the people. And we can expect improvement in the field of education, transportation, housing, and health. Now we have attained the stage where we cannot say enough to irrigation projects, for the simple reason that a man needs more than 2000 liters of water per day to live on this earth. That is 200 liters for daily use, 200 liters to grow 50 to 100 grams of pulses, 800 liters to grow 500 to 600 grams of cereals, 250 ml of water to grow 200 grams of vegetables, 250 ml of water to grow 200 grams of fruits that we eat, and 300 ml of water to grow cotton for the cloth we wear. They are the daily requirement without which humans cannot survive on this earth. This 2000 liters of water per person per day excludes the water required to construct the house where we live, to manufacture the vehicle we use, to manufacture the various items we use like TV, fridge, utensils, furnitures, and so on. And most importantly, the water required to grow the trees. That is, the trees supply oxygen to our lungs, without which it is not possible to live. Scarcity of water to the trees causes decreased growth of the trees and decreased production of oxygen. Trees also supply the oxygen required for all the animals and in various aspects, like for burning firewood, or for cooking, or for boiling water, or for oxygen required to make the vehicle to move by the process of combustion, and so on. That means we will not be able to survive if we do not get minimum of 200 liters of water per day per head. But the water we want or the food we need is not going to come near us freely. for which we need to work together to get the water to the place where we live, as we have already occupied most of the land for our survival and to grow the food. For centuries, people were taking the water directly from the streams, rivers, lakes, natural reservoirs, and so on. As the population has increased, people are forced to live away from the sources of water and learn to get the water by digging well near their place of living. They came to know that they will get the water by digging well for few feet at that time, because there were more trees, more land was participating in the process of percolation, as there were very less impermeable land. The roads of the olden days were also participating in the process of percolation to retain the moisture and to increase the underground water level, as they were soil roads. But as the population increased, with the quantity and quality of food the people consumed remained the same, the area of land utilized in the name of residences and roads increased, as these areas were against the normal physiological phenomenon of the soil, like percolation, moisture retention, releasing water for later evaporation, and so on. These wells started getting dry soon. Then the people invented bore wells to get the water from deeper layers of the earth and started extracting the water extensively on one side, and on the other side they have not allowed the water to reach the deeper layers by extensive utilization of land in the name of residences, roads, non-percolating drainage system like box drainage and UGD. By constructing the walls on either the sides of the water paths after encroaching the land of the water paths, thus made the water path narrow with the fast flow of water, which made the water to reach the sea early. These processes were against the physiology of the normal soil and soil water dynamics. On the other hand, people also learned to store the surface water by constructing bundings, check dams, artificial lakes, dams, and reservoirs. But they were limited to one river catchment area. But raining was not regular and equal to all the catchment areas of all the rivers. Now the population has grown beyond the present water distribution supply system capacity, and thus disputes sprouted everywhere in the name of all the rivers. Still, the population is growing continuously and it is not stopping. It will continue to grow till everyone starts think about all these relations and take suitable decisions, or else you can imagine what type of turn we are going to face in the near future, with scarcities of not only with the water but also in various fields like food production, quality of air, and so on. There is a mathematical relation between number of people eating food, land required to grow that quantity of food, and the water required to grow that quantity of food. In this aspect, the food consumption by every individual remains constant, because to survive, we need to eat balanced, nutritious food every day constantly. And thus, the unit land area required to grow this constant quantity of balanced, nutritious food for an individual also remains constant. Because of continuous increase in the population, other parameters are forced to change, and they are changing continuously. That is, as the population is increasing, population multiplied by quantity of food consumed is increasing. So, the unit land required to meet the food requirement for an individual multiplied by population is also increasing. But the total land available for food production is not increasing to the extent of population rise, or in other words, it remains constant. So what we need to observe is the total agriculture land divided by population that is per capita agriculture land, is decreasing day by day. The water required to grow the unit of food grain remains constant. With the increase in population leading to increase in the total food requirement makes the water requirement to increase to the lands where the food grains are grown. That is, population multiplied by per capita intake of food multiplied by volume of water required to grow unit quantity of food is increasing. It makes mandatory to utilize all the agriculture land efficiently and to utilize the available surface water on the land effectively to provide water to the lands where we can grow food grains to feed the increasing population. Thus, the growth of the population directly influences the quantity of food and volume of water required. It is not only possible to shift the agriculture land to the place where the water is available, is it not? It is not possible to shift the agriculture land to the place where the water is available. So, we need to utilize the available surface water effectively by efficient, nature-friendly irrigation methods. This volume of water is easily available, but where? In the sea, of course. But utilizing seawater will not work out to grow the crops at the place where we live. So we need to get the water to the places where the people are living. Involve them in agriculture to produce sufficient quantity of food by providing irrigation on those days where crop needs the irrigation at the required volume and rate, so that we can expect good production of crop in the available non-expandable land to meet the food requirement of the expanded population without occupying the areas belonging to the forest and waterways. The ultimate truth is, it is not possible to eat less or starve as the population is increasing. This we need to understand. The plants will not change their physiology understanding the growth of the population. They also need sufficient and balanced nutrition and water for their growth. Otherwise, they suffer dehydration, grow less, gives less yield, lose their immunity, get diseases. That is, with this type of increase in the population, to whom will you say you don't eat, or you don't drink, or you don't breathe? If that type of day comes, then it indicates that we have reached the end of life on this earth. Thank you for listening to my 7th uploaded speech. I think you have gained some idea on the relation between the population and the volume of water required, the struggles the humans have gone through to get the water they wanted. Still, this struggle is continuing. But the thing is, it leads to innovations like wells, bore wells, bundings, dams, and so on. The dams have appeared from the past few centuries in great numbers. By looking at the struggle of my patients to arrange money for various reasons, its relation to their profession and the need for that profession, which is giving food for all of us, made me to think and come out with the idea of reticular canal system for surface water management. That I think our leaders will understand and will make the plants and animals to survive by providing sufficient number of molecules called H2O, which is existing in plenty but may not be available at the places where these plants and animals live in sufficient volume needed to prevent the injury to the same and thus to this environment. How RCS is going to work in the management of surface water, we will see in our subsequent talks. If you like this, then please subscribe my channel and forward it to your family members, relatives and friends till it reaches all the leaders of this world. Thanks once again.